We're going to troubleshoot why Bluetooth isn't working on your Android emulator. This can be frustrating, but let's systematically address the common causes. 1. Check emulator settings. First, ensure Bluetooth is actually enabled within the emulator's settings. Go to Settings, Connected Devices, Connection Preferences, Bluetooth, and make sure the toggle is switched on. If it's already on, try toggling it off and then back on again. A simple restart can sometimes solve minor glitches. 2. Emulator version and compatibility. Older emulator versions might have known Bluetooth bugs. Updating the Android Studio and your emulator to the latest versions is crucial. Check for updates in the Android Studio SDK Manager. Compatibility also plays a role. Make sure your emulator's Android version supports Bluetooth features properly. Newer versions generally have better support. 3. Hardware acceleration. Your computer's hardware acceleration is critical for emulator performance, and this includes Bluetooth functionality. Go to Android Studio Settings, File Settings on Windows, Linux, Android Studio Preferences on macOS. Find the AVD Manager and ensure hardware acceleration, usually using Hyper-V, VirtualBox, or similar, is enabled and working correctly. Restart the emulator after making any changes here. 4. Virtual device configuration. When you created your virtual device, AVD, did you include Bluetooth support? If not, you'll need to create a new AVD that specifically includes Bluetooth capabilities. This is usually an option during the AVD creation process in Android Studio. If you're using an older AVD, recreating one might be necessary. 5. Conflicting software or drivers. Occasionally, conflicting software or outdated drivers on your host computer can interfere with the emulator's Bluetooth functionality. Make sure your system drivers, especially for network adapters, are up to date. Check your task manager or activity monitor for any processes that might be hogging resources and potentially interfering with emulator operation. 6. Emulator images and system files. Sometimes, corruption in the emulator system files can cause problems. Try wiping data and restarting the emulator. As a last resort, you might need to create a completely new AVD image. This is more time-consuming, but it can eliminate potential file corruption issues. 7. Host OS permissions. Make sure your operating system's permissions allow the emulator to access Bluetooth. This might involve checking settings related to virtual machines or Android emulators specifically. Consult your operating system's documentation for guidance on managing permissions for virtual machines. 8. Check for errors. If none of the above work, carefully examine the logcat output within Android Studio. Logcat displays messages and error reports from your emulator, and error messages related to Bluetooth are frequently found there. Search within the logcat output for keywords like Bluetooth, error, or exception. This might provide more specific clues about the issue. Remember to restart your emulator after each troubleshooting step. If you've tried everything and still have issues, consider seeking help from online Android developer communities or submitting a bug report to the Android Studio team.